So without further ado, I introduce Jan Topping, New Media Commissioning Manager, Channel 4.
As a start, what we do digitally for Channel 4 in the digital space is very much about encouraging people to watch our TV shows wherever they may be. So whether it's linear TV or VOD services or download to own programs on iTunes. So that's a really important driver for all of our activities. The other stuff that we are very keen on is, in terms of our objectives, is trying to enhance the love that people have for our shows. At Channel 4, we're really lucky to work with and having commissioned shows that people genuinely love and feel a great deal of passion for. So it's about enhancing their experience so that they can get closer to the shows that they love. And obviously a core objective for what we do is to build revenue. So where iPhone fits into that, and it is iPhone specific, we decided to build around 7 apps for key Channel 4 TV shows. We have most of them in development, and we've got 2 that are about to go live. It's very much a trial. I think there's 3 components that we're looking at. The first is around 2-screen behaviour. The second element is browser accessibility, and the third component is around standalone experiences for our TV titles. What I mean is creating experiences on device that people can enjoy at any time away from that linear storytelling cycle. So that's sort of, to give you just a hint of what we're looking to do next year. It's very much in partnership with our producers. If you're not aware, Channel 4 doesn't make anything ourselves. We commission from the independent production sector. We are not building these apps ourselves. We are working with digital agencies and mobile experts within the UK, and also our creative partners who actually make these shows. It's also important for us to not go a bit app crazy. And the other thing as well is to make sure that what we're delivering and the vision for what we're creating really stays close to the creative people who know these shows. And then the next challenge on from that will be taking that learning and actually being able to build this into business as usual and achieving scale, which will be the next big challenge for us.
Sean Barrable from Mobile IQ.
So today what I'd like to do is give you 10 key points from our experience that will help you in your app roadmaps. Lesson 1 really was proceed with caution. The App Store environment is very much a jungle. The second point is really have a clear destination in mind. You really need to think carefully about the objective for a particular application. Point 3 is really select the right path for you, and I'm primarily referring to which platform. So the next point is men at work, so make sure it's sustainable. Avert a design disaster, a little bit controversial this one. Touchscreen design is still in its infancy, and I think that we're still establishing what represents best practice. Just do simple things like put the designs onto the phone, even as a flat graphic, so you can actually touch and feel it. It really helps. Point 6 is, it's not just about the development, so this is really ensuring the predictability of app builds. In our experience, if you get the analysis and the design right, then you can keep the development to closer to 30% of the effort of the project, with the sort of deployment being a big part after that. Point 7 is get a launch plan. So once you've built it, doing things like a screencast or supporting web page, submitting it to review sites really helps to generate buzz that has a huge impact on the success of the app. And point 8, so once you've got it live, you really need to think about how you're going to play the app ecosystem. Beware of potholes. The last point really, understand your audience. Seems like a small point, but number 1, make sure your analytics solution is right, but also make it easy for your users to provide feedback and acknowledge that feedback and reflect it in the updates you're providing to users in the description of the apps.
Nokia OV Store. If I was Jen, which she's here, so I'm not, how does she work with you? How does she, if she's a publisher, broadcaster, and she wants to publish an app on Nokia and wants to distribute it on OV, what does she have to do?
She has first to develop the application. Depending on the company, she can develop internally, or she can select some partner for the development. And then there is a web page, in fact, just to upload the content in OV Store, and then you have a very simple QA to check the application, if the application is working well on the device and so on. And then the application is published in the next 5 to 10 days, depending on the...
How do I get attention?
We have some recommendation engine, in fact, checking the ratio between the download and the number of view of your application. And if this ratio is good, you will be on top of the list. So even if the number of views is very low, if the number of downloads is important, you will emerge.
So I'll have a chance of success if my app is good. So I better be damn good, since I don't have a big brand.
Very important
right?
point. Your application have to be good,
Right.
of course.
So Dan Withers from Kiwa.
What I want you to take away from this brief talk is that the problems with apps are fairly small, they're very manageable, and if anything, they're transitional. My message to you is that at every stage, wherever you are, if you're a content producer, if you're a buyer of content, if you're a publisher, there's probably no one here today who's writing or creating content at that level, direct your mind to the issue of apps, sort it out while you're sorting out the contracts. It's just one more clause in the contract. You've already done all this for audio rights, for film rights, for television rights. It's just one more clause, but without it, it's very clear that rights to make apps don't suddenly arise. So wherever you are in the long chain that starts with someone creating content down to the app developer, the thing is always think, are we going to do apps? What areas are there for apps? And apps will be in places you haven't thought of before, pilot series for the television shows. At the moment you go out with pilots on television, it's quite laborious. You've got marketing and you've got ratings you follow. We'll move to sending that out in apps. We'll send out free apps, and then you've got a direct feedback. People download the app about a forthcoming show, they see what the show's going to look like, they get to know the characters, and in-app they've got the ability to email you and tell you what they think about it. So you can go back to them if you want to. You can have a whole dialogue prior to the release of your show in a direct and digital way that you won't get from something that's as static, I think, as a pilot. Not all apps make money. Sometimes it's just a promotional app. In that case, it's a free download, but there are other apps you'll sell. You decide who gets how much by who brings what to the table. Again, there's not agreement on this yet, but what is certain is that Apple or Nokia will take around 30%. That's standardizing. I think with the Android platforms next year, you'll see competition. I think that will come down.